Hi, my name is Lady Lex UK, and as you can see, I'm recording this on my webcam, and you can also see why I don't normally record on webcam is because it's such poor quality. But I thought this was a sort of message that I really needed to say face to face to everybody. This is going to be my last Project Spark video. I have stopped playing Project Spark, and I have closed down all of my websites, and I'm no longer posting on the forums. And I'd like to explain to my subscribers why this is, and I totally understand you'll want to unsubscribe, but that's absolutely fine. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with my channel. I haven't got a clue at the moment what I'm going to do instead. Hopefully there'll be something, but I don't know what it'll be. Now, the history of this is quite long. I'll explain what has gone on and why I've made this decision. I downloaded Project Spark in June 2014. I was really excited. I'd seen the clips on E3 and it seemed like a really amazing thing, and I was really keen to download it, and I was amazed that it was free. Downloaded it, it was the first thing we did, and it was just as good as I hoped for. You could create your own games, you could play other people's games, and it was all totally free, and I just thought it was amazing. And I started making my own games, and I got into some difficulties with the coding because it is a difficult thing to master. It's easy to pick up, but to do certain things it is quite difficult. And there's no tutorial, there's no way of finding anything out, so I went to the forums, asked the question, and the people on the forum, the community there, was so friendly, so welcoming and really helpful, and I managed to learn an awful lot from them. And I started experimenting and learning about tiles and everything else, and got very heavily involved in making tutorials. I wanted to give something back to the community that had helped me to start with, so I would learn how to do a thing, and then I'd post about it and go, I've learned how to do this, and this is how you do it. And I started collating tutorials and helping out in the community if they were asking questions about things like they wanted to know which games had been featured, so I started making a whole list of all the featured games, and I maintained that for a while. I was filling my day with Project Spark. Now, some people might think, well, why would I do that? At the time I started playing Project Spark, I was personally in a very low place. I'd lost a baby, and I'd undergone 6 years of fertility treatment, which just ended in miscarriages and disappointment, and in the end we couldn't continue anymore, and I had to accept that I was never going to be a mother and never have the family that I really wanted. And I'd had to give up my career in order to do the treatment, and so I was left at home, no job, feeling incredibly low, incredibly upset, and feeling that I had nothing to offer anyone, that I'd failed at everything and I was useless, and I couldn't get a job, I couldn't even get an interview, and I needed something to do. And Project Spark came at just the right moment, and it gave me something to do. It occupied my day, it occupied my thoughts. I wasn't thinking about myself and my situation anymore, and it was really important to me, and it became like a little job that I could do during the day, and I felt I was helping people and being useful. And while that was how I felt, it was great. And then the forums started to get unpleasant, and there was a backlash against me, against other people. There were some members of the forum who I felt were bullies, and they would very carefully just say little snidey comments here and there just to anger people, and it just became an unpleasant place to be. And it used to be such a wonderful, friendly place, and it became unpleasant. It became nasty, and I couldn't post there anymore. And so I had a tutorial website that I was working on, and I had my tutorial book that I had done, and I was sharing that with people, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do a review site, and I'm going to have a blog, and I'm just going to remove myself from the forum and its unpleasantness, because it was upsetting me, and I didn't need upsetting. I was already in a position where things would upset me anyway. I just, Project Spark was supposed to be this fun distraction, this something to take me away from the disappointment of my life to something magical. I wanted my website to be about community, about participation. I wanted it to be a place where everybody could discuss games in a friendly way and give advice and feedback for creators, so they could go ahead and then make better games and give them the search facility that Project Spark just didn't provide. I mean, you couldn't search on tags, you couldn't search for by creator, you couldn't search by game, anything really. I mean, the feeds will only give you the latest 100. So if you had a game that had a word in the title, 100 games that had been launched since then, you'd never find it on Project Spark. Their search facilities were really poor. So I thought, I'll start this review site. I'll create a database of games. People will be able to find games and they'll be able to rate them, comment on them, post their own reviews, post promotions about their own games and all of this. But it never turned into anything. The community got smaller and smaller and smaller, and the participation on my site got smaller and smaller and smaller. The participation on the forums on Project Spark got smaller and smaller, until we get to a point where I'm trying to run a website for 40 people, and my fees, because the content had gone up and up and up, my fees had gone up and up and up, and I'm hosting websites that nobody visits and nobody participates in and nobody posts anything on. It's not worth it. You look at the .org site, the only reason anybody goes there is for the chat room. If that chat room was on the .com site, nobody would go to the .org site at all, because nobody posts anything. Nobody's involved in the community anymore. It's died. It's just died. I think once Project Spark went completely free and they said they weren't doing any more development, it just went downhill from there, and I don't think it's ever going to recover. And I think it's only going to get worse and worse. And it's just not fun to play Project Spark anymore. And I need my distraction to be fun, and I need it to be. It makes me feel useful. And if nobody comes to my website, what I'm doing is not useful. I haven't got an ego that I think people must listen to me. If they don't want to listen to me, I listen to that. And there's no point me putting up my opinion if nobody is interested. So, with very few views on my Let's Plays, no participation in my website, very few views, when I had a catastrophic failure with my website, which we spent a week trying to fix, and would involve rolling back the site to a previous time, and even then we weren't sure whether that was going to fix it or not. I had to look at it and think, is it really worth it? Is it worth me spending what worked out at over £200 a year on hosting fees? Is it worth the fees to keep the domain name? Is it worth the time that I'm spending developing these sites and making them bigger and better if nobody is coming and nobody is interested? I'm throwing a party and nobody is coming, and it isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it for the amount of plays and views. If I'd had 1,000 a week, then it's a different kettle of fish. I would feel like people want it, and it's worth me trying to fix it. But the amount of participation is just nothing. So there is no point in continuing with it. And it has stopped making me feel happy, and it has stopped making me feel happy for quite a while. Just playing the games in New and Rising is depressing me. They're full of achievement hunters. They're not supposed to be in there. It's supposed to be games that people have made. It isn't. The game jam depressed me somewhat because it didn't have that many entries. And then there was an awful lot of backbiting after it had finished, with everybody complaining about it. It's like, look, I can't be bothered with it anymore. It's just not fun. It's not fun. It should be fun. Now, if Project Spark is still fun for you, please continue to play. Continue to be involved. Get involved with the community. It deserves better, Project Spark. I don't think it's going to last very much longer. That might be my gut reaction because it's died for me. It might not have died for you. Please continue to enjoy it. Play the games. Comment on the games. Give people feedback. Go to the forums and be nice. Help people. Don't backbite. Don't be unpleasant. Don't couch your snidey comments in such a way that it antagonises people. Just stop all that crap. It's just not worth it. Life is a very short space of time, and you're wasting it on being an unpleasant dick. Just stop it. And to all of those who helped me with the website, or participated in anything that I did, in any of the competitions I ran, or used my manual, thank you. I appreciate it. I am sorry that I can't continue any longer, but I need to do something that does not make me feel like this. Okay, thank you.